Okay, so I made a little video commenting on this numb little bug trend. And now I want to show you why I watch Neebs obsessively the way I do. And by show you, I mean tell you. Because I'm a storyteller, I can only show by telling. There are, in the group, at any moment, usually in the videos, 5 core members. Thick44 was an original core member who passed recently within the last 4 years. And so they bring in guests. Some videos they only do 4. Some they bring in Anthony CSN, sometimes they bring in other guests, so there can be as many as 6, sometimes even 7. Why that's relevant is because the perfect size D&D party is actually 5 characters. The perfect size JRPG party is 6 characters. The reason for that is because even as similar as any 2 are in a 5 or a 6 character party, none of them is exactly the same. Any more and you start to get into obvious redundancies like Marvel's Avengers, or the male characters are all the same and the female characters are all the same, but when any 2 of them are paired up, you don't notice. And when any 5 of them are grouped up, you can keep the 2 that are most similar on the far ends of the party. But they all have different personalities. And one of the things that Simon, the character, brings to the table is a kind of manic depressive, kind of bipolar, kind of like me. Kind of he brings a lot of the mental health awareness kind of character. And so what that means is that he can be a sad sack and he can say sad sack things that are actually very funny because people don't know how to react to them. But because people don't know how to react to them and they're funny, they're also teaching moments, right? They're teaching moments. And I value and I search for teaching moments. And so as I was talking about this song, right, about do you ever feel like you're not happy but you don't want to die because you have to survive, you have no choice but to survive? Do you ever feel that way? And I said, well, no. You're supposed to say no. Even if you do, you're just supposed to look at them and be like, no, don't voice that, because what they really want to know is how you cope. Well, how do you not feel that way? How do you avoid feeling that way? Or when you feel that way, how do you cope with feeling that way? How do you get yourself out of it? And so this isn't a moment where somebody did that for Simon, but there's a moment in Neebs in the 7 Days to Die. I actually think it's Alpha 16, which I've watched, the supercut I've watched at least 100 times. I'm obsessive, where Simon and Dora are talking about a pretty girl in some context, and Simon goes, yeah, and I was crying. And Dora's like, wait, why were you crying? And he goes, because sometimes I just cry. And all Dora can do is, well, you don't have to do that, buddy. And Simon's, yeah, I know. And so, at the same time, that's something that I'm bringing to you, and I want you to meditate on your reaction to it. I want you to emulate me in that way, and meditate on how you reacted, and whether you like the way you reacted, and then what steps you can make to do better. By yourself, not by me or anyone else.